One of the biggest problems that we have in this community is the lack of the proper utilization of resources. And it's so sad because, I mean, once you kind of research it and look at it, there are resources in the community that can help with almost, I'm going to say, every problem that one has, be it educational, spiritual, economic, mental, psychological, political, or what have you. There are resources. So, one of the objectives of one of my missions is to educate the community about the myriad of resources that are available, and that will result in the improvement of the community. And I'm so happy today that I've got the opportunity to expose and promote and familiarize and educate the community on another very valuable resource that's housed in a very valuable institution that has been a good citizen of our community for a lot of years. I won't say how many because that might make you think that I was here when it started. I ain't going to answer that question, not right now anyway. So I'm so happy today to have with me. I'm gonna do what people don't use. I'm gonna call a doctor. Then I'm gonna give her her education, Doctor Kristie Roberts-Lewis, PhD. And I know she's very humble and she doesn't necessarily want all that thrown on her, but that's what she is. She's Dr. Lewis and she works at Middle Georgia State University and she heads up, a department that deals with trying to familiarize the community with the myriad of resources and come up with ways that that the institution can assist the community in several given areas. So I'm gonna do her like that bunny rabbit. I'm gonna wind her up and then and then just let her begin to express and talk about and expose and educate on all of those resources that are available through her program and generally through the Middle Georgia State University. Doctor?
Thank you, Mr. Hampersham, and thank you so much for the invitation to be on your show today. I first want to salute you and the great work that you have been doing for many decades with the Making Black pages, and that we are just absolutely delighted to be here on today. As noted, I am Kristie Roberts-Lewis. I have the pleasure of serving as the Executive Director for the Center for Middle Georgia Studies. We are housed at Middle Georgia State University, and the center is relatively new, as am I. And what we are tasked and charged with doing is harnessing the power of the expertise within our university to be able to address some of the most pressing problems and issues in Middle Georgia. What our ultimate goal is to identify either through programmatic activities, through collaborative partnerships, through our direct services that we can provide to organizations and entities, the ability to ensure that there is a more resilient Middle Georgia, the place where we love, the place where we work, and the place where we call home. And so our center has been situated in the Middle Georgia State University academic community. And our ultimate goal is to be recognized as a regional and national hub that is engaged in a diversity of research and community activities to create collaborative problem solving and knowledge sharing and awareness about how do we address some of the issues such as crime and poverty and homelessness that is plaguing the Middle Georgia region. So some of our core values really are embedded within the university's four principles of stewardship, engagement, adaptability, and learning. The Center for Middle Georgia Studies seeks to be a community resource. We want to be able to not only assist the community with addressing these issues, but also alerting the community where there are other partnerships that we have or where they can go for assistance. We want to build on those partnerships and to ensure that there is impact in these communities. We don't see ourselves as having one-off activities and engagement with the communities, but we are concerned about sustainability, and we're concerned about ensuring that the communities can be better off after the engagement with both the center and the institution. So we engage in innovation and capacity building, and this can be done through a variety of things. And one of the ways that we like to think about our work is through the theory of change, thinking about all of the activities, and all of the knowledge that exists within our institution, our ability to provide research capabilities for institutions and organizations, our ability to partner with grant sponsors and dollars, and to use the wealth of expertise that exists within our academic community. We do that to host events, to do workshops, and some of those events we'll share with you by the conclusion of our conversation today. And it is our hope that from our engagement that we can have community-based research findings. So we are not just highlighting the problem through research, but we are also thinking about solutions to address those problems. From there, we are also really thinking about how do we better engage the community through awareness, through advocacy, and through their ability to be a part of the conversations that will ultimately impact and transform the place where they call home or work. And long term, we want to ensure that we improve the social economic conditions of Middle Georgia, and to ensure that Middle Georgia is a more resilient place to live and work. So what are our scope of services? One, we can provide research and technical assistance. We can customize our applied research capacity on any regional issue that impacts Middle Georgia. And we can customize it based upon the needs and interests of the organization that we are partnering with. This may include GIS mapping of regional trends and indicators. We also can engage in economic impact studies, benchmarking, and engaging in a needs assessment to determine which approaches are most beneficial. Secondly, we can provide consultation to community organizations on things such as how do you evaluate the cadre of services that that organization is providing? How do you ensure that you are documenting impact and outcomes so that one, you can share that with the stakeholders, the diverse stakeholders who are impacted, but also for a funder, and to be able to position the organization for additional funding. We can conduct needs assessments of the organization, or needs assessment for potential kinds of projects that they may consider pursuing in various areas throughout Middle Georgia. We can help organizations prepare, and we can design strategic planning for those organizations. We can engage and assist them with grant writing, with board development, leadership development. We can help be a conduit for facilitation of community discussions on important issues, focus groups, and any kind of nonprofit activities that a nonprofit organization or organization who is interested in moving and seeking 501c3 status or nonprofit status. Thirdly, the Center for Middle Georgia Studies can provide training and educational opportunities. We can do that by customizing professional development training for organizations. We can do that through workshops and public podiums and lectures. But we also create pathways for both workforce development and academic achievement. And so if there are organizations that are seeking to build the capacity of their employees and or to upskill them, we can customize training and educational pathways that will help to do that. Those pathways may lead ultimately to a certificate or continuing education credits that can be awarded by Middle Georgia State University, and or an academic program where they can earn a bachelor's degree, master's degree, and we are proud that we have 2 doctoral programs. These other kinds of training and workshops could include things around financial literacy, management and leadership development, as well as regional simulations and issues around healthcare. And this is critically important because we know that the state of Georgia is currently experiencing a healthcare worker shortage, and we want to be an answer to ensure that everybody has access to quality healthcare workers and employees. The last thing that we provide is community partnerships and outreach. And we do this through the cultivation of relationships and innovative programming. We're currently working on a potential project around STEM, STEM, and how do we engage young people in learning about STEM very early in their educational journey. And we'll be utilizing our robotics kind of activities with those students, as well as working with our faculty and natural sciences, where the students will have an opportunity to examine a lot of the wildlife that exists in Middle Georgia and understanding the implications around that, as well as doing fun and innovative scientific programming. We would love to partner with organizations and collaborate on not only results-driven approaches, but programmatic activities and services that can help move the needle on some of the pressing problems that we identified. And lastly, we want to serve as a repository and clearinghouse. We want to be able to document the research that is happening in Middle Georgia. We also want to be a clearinghouse where we can house that information and be able to share it, and for members of the community to utilize that information as they seek to address issues within Middle Georgia as well.
Wow. I mean, that's mind-boggling and mind-blowing. But, I'm thinking about all these initiatives that I'm involved in, both directly and indirectly. And then I wish you were close to me, because I'd pop you on your hand for, for me not knowing, and it's not really your fault. We're dealing with a leadership academy. I'm trying to improve African American business. I'm trying to do research on what does it really take for African Americans to be more cognizant of doing business with African American businesses. I mean, there are just so many initiatives. The other thing I thought about as you were talking, the MVP program. The mayor's got the MVP program. And I know there are several nonprofits. Some of them got grants and all of that, but these nonprofits are very, very serious about engaging in activities in the community that's going to make a difference in the community. And then to have a resource that's going to do the research and help to assimilate it, and then provide the assistance. It's mind-boggling, because there is such a need for all of those pillars that you mentioned as it relates to what the center is about. So I'm telling everybody right now, you better call her quick, because I got a lot of stuff I need some help with. Community-based activities, like I said, the Leadership Academy, economic and business development in the African American community, financial literacy as it relates to African Americans throughout the community. So now, let me be clear. You all have heard that before. Let me be clear. If in fact, and if I'm not correct, Dr. Lewis, you let me know. But if in fact you have an existing or conceptual initiative that's going to benefit this community, then you got a phenomenal resource at Middle Georgia State University that can help you, it seems to me, with anything imaginable as it relates to bringing the idea to fruition, bringing it, the implementation and development and the research and the marketing and the everything associated with a community improvement initiative. That is a phenomenal resource. You almost tap your hand again because I'm so happy. I should be tapping my own hand. I'm so happy, to learn about this. And then I know that it's a lot of information. Now you better hurry because I'm meeting with her, if not this week, early next week, so I can put all my initiatives on the table, community-based initiatives that are designed to help the community. We've got the Ruth Hartley Mosley Center. I don't know whether you're familiar with that or not, Dr. Lewis, but it's a phenomenal institution in our community. We need to uplift that. We got the Central Georgia Coalition of Black Businesses, that I'm chairman of the board on. And we got the Make 'em Black pages, which I'm trying to determine what does it take, as an entity that identifies and promotes African American businesses, and as an entity that knows the kind of economic power that African Americans have in this community, then I'm just very, very curious about some kind of formal way to address what it takes for us to make better utilization of that power. So as you hear her talk, and as we listen to all of the elements and all of the areas in which some help is possible, it's mind-boggling, and it's so needed, and it's exciting. So I just need to get, I'm gonna get my appointment before. Well, I'll wait till we get off the TV, but I'm gonna get my appointment quickly. Know what you know, and know what you don't know. Then when the situation arises where you got something that you don't know, now what Dr. Lewis is telling you is that, well, if there are areas that you don't know, and if it's something designed that's going to make a difference, in the community, and if it's going to have community impact, then you got a resource. You got to watch me. You got a resource with resources. You got a resource with resources. So all this not embodied directly at Middle Georgia State, then that footprint expands into other areas that we can utilize to help address whatever problem, program, or initiative with which we are associated. So I'm just happy, and I'm excited, and I'm so happy that we were finally able to connect, so this information can be presented to the community. You go ahead now. I'm sorry, you go ahead now. But I just want to say how excited I am, and I want to encourage people. I'm gonna use another expression that you've heard. Don't just stand there now. Do something.
Do something.
You've got a resource that can help you do something. Dr. Lewis?
No, thank you very much for sharing and highlighting the work that we have worked. And I want to also recognize our president, Christopher Blake, who this was his vision. He wanted us to be able to be a resource, to be able to partner with organizations, and for Middle Georgia State to be at the forefront of problem solving as it relates to these issues, and doing it with the spirit of excellence and collaboration. So we are very new, so we don't have to slap anyone's hands. Monday will be my 4th month here, and 4th month since the center has opened. So we are new, and we're creating visibility, and also just connecting with organizations to let them know that we are here, we are a resource, and we want to partner with you. Just to really move forward in the conversation, some of our current projects focus around aiding communities with conducting a historical analysis, for example, of some of their neighborhoods, understanding their evolution, understanding some of the challenges that they may be facing, and how the city and local governments can address those issues through our analysis. We're also working with organizations around building capacity of their workforce. I've developed trainings around the multi-generational workforce. Currently, we have 6 generations that exist within the workforce. And how does an organization appropriately prepare and manage all of those generations, from the baby boomers down to Gen Z, all who have competing needs and interests, but if not managed well, could impact the performance and productivity of the organization. We are also working on just building capacity around the use of Microsoft Office and artificial intelligence. How do we help organizations understand the benefits around artificial intelligence? And the university is sponsoring a conversation on September 11 with Dr. Matthew Stepka, who will discuss artificial intelligence and how it and its relationship with education in the current context. And that's on September 11th here at Middle Georgia State University. And we welcome you to come to that conversation. Lastly, what we're also doing is just some evaluation work, again, with organizations who are doing great programming. And again, helping them to be able to codify the outcome and impacts of those programs. And so we really invite you to partner with us. We are located on the Macon campus in the library on the first floor, and we would love to hear from you. We would love for you to come by and visit the center and see some of the great work that we're doing. I would love to visit your organization and to do a formal presentation, and also to learn more about the needs and interests of that organization and how we can partner with you. We do have some upcoming events that I would like to share with you. We are hosting the Honorable Michael Thurman on September 18th. He will be doing both a book signing and a book talk about his new book, James Oglethorpe, and looking at his navigation from being a slave trader to an abolitionist. Michael Thurman is currently the CEO of DeKalb County, and he will be outgoing, but we are excited about the work that he's doing and that he'll be coming on campus sharing that work, and we'll be partnering with the Middle Georgia Library in that endeavor. We also will be hosting Constitution Day activities on campus on September 16th and 17th in partnership with the University System of Georgia. We will have a conversation around women's suffrage and the 19th Amendment, but also a panel of experts from our political science department who will just be discussing the Constitution and its implications in today's society. So those are just some of the activities. We will hopefully have more that we are able to share with you in the future. But in the interim, if you have any questions or you would like to contact me, our email address is Center for Middle Georgia GA Studies at mga.edu, or you can email me directly at Kristie.Roberts-Lewis at mga.edu. We would love to hear from you. Again, welcome you to visit the center, and we would love to partner with you to make Middle Georgia a more resilient community.
Thank you so much, Dr. Roberts-Lewis, PhD.
Thank you, Mr. Habersham.
We really appreciate it, and I'm going to just encapsulate what I said. That's a phenomenal resource in our community. We got just all kinds of organizations, and a lot of them very good organizations. But I'm telling you, this ain't Clairol, which means I've been around quite some time, but I am just absolutely thrilled, even with all my years and all my experience. I just, I'm getting a headache from all of the ways that I'm thinking about with my community and personal initiatives, all community-based and designed to help the community, all of the things that I feel like this institute can help me help the community. So it's just phenomenally important. I encourage you, to reach out. And then what's the best way for them to really learn more? We're going to make this available, plentifully available. But is there a website, or should they just call you?
Yes, sir. So our website is, if they visit the Middle Georgia website, www.middle middle.mga.edu /Center for Middle Georgia Studies. And they can find our website and learn more about who we are and how to contact us.
Right. Now that's important. You go so Middle Georgia State website, and then you go to Center for Middle Georgia Studies, and then you can learn more. And I will have this talk show available on Alex Habersham YouTube, and we'll be on Bounce TV, and we'll blast it out and put it on social media and what have you. But you have done a phenomenal job, and I serve on the Middle Georgia Innovation Project, because something you call it like that, with Dr. Blake, and and really value his input and know what his input and these resources will mean to the community. But there are several things. I met with Ms. Busby from Atrium, who was one of the formulators of the Middle Georgia Innovation Innovation Project, and the Innovation Project. And so just listening to you, I'm thinking about other sources and other information that we can intertwine into that process. So I think this is a call to action. I'm your host, Alex C. Habersham, having interviewed Dr. Kristie Roberts-Lewis. You got it right. I almost said Lewis Roberts, PhD, of the Center for Middle Georgia Studies at Middle Georgia State University. I repeat, utilize that resource. Got a lot of nonprofits and what have you in our community that need help. For example, this morning, finally, I talked to this young lady and her husband. They came in my office this morning, and they got this nonprofit, a lot of good ideas. I'm looking up the name, and the name was Helping Others Foundation. Helping others, and I mean, they really do some education. They even pass out water. They go around the city passing out cool water, the people under the bridges, etc. So I think that bespeaks of several entities in our community that can be taken to the next step if, in fact, they were familiar with the kind of resources that your institution provides for the community. So I appreciate it. It's very exciting. And I am absolutely encouraging everyone to utilize these resources. A lot of existing nonprofits that can benefit from it. So I really thank you. This is a call to action. I am your host, Alex Habersham, having interviewed Dr. Kristie Roberts-Lewis, PhD. I'm your host, Alex Habersham. Have a great day.
www.makingblackpages.com